America, a creation story. I was watching an actor, and he's a very popular white actor, and he was talking about America, how it came to be. And some things struck me. He said, the people that came here to make America their home, and we must be speaking about Europeans at this time, that when they came to make this their home, they didn't care no matter who was here. This country allowed Europeans to come and take over this country and replace the indigenous people that were here without just compensation. And to tell you the truth, just like all over the globe, when they took the land and you put up a fight, they unalive you. You were no more a being. They put you in the earth. They didn't care if you occupied that land before them. See, a nation claimed a continent no matter what the cost. They were going to have not only America, but Africa, South America, North America, all over the globe. Bounty and blood, that's what they were looking for. The land, or the men who came to it, did things, and they have stories that will shock us. But we already know these stories. They say that the country was created in the East, but most people will tell you it was forged in the West because the opportunities, the gold, the golds and free land, most of the land was already occupied, but they had a plan in place like they had for the whole world. It doesn't matter if you were here before us. We here now. We replace you. And either you leave or you stay forever. That is the history of America, and that is a creation story. It reminds me of another creation story. You see, it was like the settlers thought this was free land. Although you were an indigenous person looking at them, it was almost like you weren't here. The goal of most Europeans was to buy land from the Indians and sell it to aristocrats and land speculators, somewhat like what they do when they send to manufacturing companies in China. They buy low and sell high. Now, I wanted to tell you this, something that you should already know. And if you have any questions, Dr. Claude Anderson, in his book, he talks about manifest destiny. I won't tell you what it is, because anytime people believe that it's their destiny to take something from another person that's already here without justly compensating them, somewhat like what happened to, tell you the truth, Europeans did the same thing that they did to Indians and black people. They did it to other Europeans till they got together and found out that if they fought together and they banded together, then they could probably take over the whole world. Now, we talk about America coming into being, but we don't realize that the same thing that happened with the creation of America is the same thing that they're trying to relive right now. If you think I'm lying, okay, look what's going on in Africa. But look what's going on right here. One of the things that you can look and know that it's doing the same thing is when they talked about Project 2025. Now look at the plan. Look who's it affected. I want to let somebody else finish this out. Those were my thoughts after listening to this supposedly great actor. But when it boils down to is they play real good characters on stage. But we have to remind ourselves that they're just actors. Okay? You don't emulate them. Your children are not supposed to follow them because they are here to entertain you, not lead you.
Author than you have with someone who's against all literature. So why must we always concentrate on color or religion or this? There are other ways of connecting men. I'll tell you this. When I left this country in 1948, I left this country for one reason only, one reason. I didn't care where I went. I might have gone to Hong Kong, I might have gone to Timbuktu, ended up in Paris, on the streets of Paris, with $40 in my pocket on the theory that nothing worse could happen to me there than it already happened to me here. You talk about making it as a writer by yourself. You have to be able then to turn up all the antenna of which you live, because once you turn your back on this society, you may die. You may die. And it's very hard to be a typewriter and concentrate on that if you're afraid of the world around you. The years I lived in Paris did one thing for me. They released me from that particular social terror, which was not the paranoia of my own mind, but a real social danger visible in the face of every cop, every boss, everybody. No matter what his attitude is bigoted. I did not say that. Well, there's an attitude. It's on his face. It's in the way of every boss. But you're asking me to do something impossible. You're asking me to take the will for the deed. I don't know what most white people in this country feel, but I can only include what they feel from the state of their institutions. I don't know if white Christians hate Negroes or not, but I know that we have a Christian church which is white and a Christian church which is black. I know as Malcolm X once put it, the most decorated hour in American life is high noon on Sunday. That's a great deal for me about a Christian nation. It means that I can't afford to trust most white Christians, and certainly cannot trust the Christian church. I don't know if the real estate lobby is anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbies keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks they give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. For me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen. And you have more in common with a white.
I wanted to let y'all hear a little bit of what James Baldwin was talking about. He talked about social terror. And the man who was supposed to be mediating was telling him what he said was based basically on bigotry. But James Baldwin was telling him about the social terror that he and others like him, like myself, face in society, which nobody wants to hear. Okay? We see it in police officers, we see it in people who are in charge, and we see it in politics and everywhere, that people who are in charge don't look like us, treat us. Now, before I leave y'all, I know my videos don't have music. I know my videos could be a lot better and streamed, a lot more, at least a little bit better, okay? But I'm going to tell you the reason why I make them like this. Because I don't have anybody trying to influence what I'm saying. I don't have anybody telling me what to say and how to say it. So I don't want, music on the video. I don't want a whole lot of pictures and distractions when I'm talking to you, because I'm telling you what I've experienced and the truth as far as I know it. So if you're looking for perfection, it's not here. But you're welcome.